So back in the day, my mama used to go to the club all the time, like a lot of our mothers typically did. And it wasn't out of the ordinary for her friends to come back from the club and just spend the night. They'd come back like 3, 4 in the morning or whatever. I would always still be up because I would usually be watching TV. I could never go to sleep until I knew my mama was back home in the house safely. So, I'm up or whatever. And, my mama come in, she check in on me, and she was like, good night. And I was like, good night. And she would usually tell me if one of her friends were up sleeping in the living room, because I had a problem when I was younger with wandering around at night and just doing what the fuck ever. So she would typically warn me if someone was in there so I wouldn't get fucking scared. So y'all, I'm sitting there like not even 10 minutes later. I'm like, I want a fucking snack. So, I'm just walking down the hallway, nothing out of the ordinary, and I start to hear fucking grunting. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it must be a burglar in this house. It gotta be. So back in the day, when the apartments we stayed at, it was like we didn't have any curtains. So if a car passed by with headlights, you could get a glimpse of light and see who was in the living room. All I fucking saw when I saw the damn glimpse was my mama friend folded up like a fucking lawn chair and some man on top of her with his fucking hand around her motherfucking neck. I'm like, oh my fucking God, he's trying to kill her. So, y'all, we had a bat sitting right in between the hallway and the fucking door. So I grabbed the fucking metal bat and I went over there and I just started hitting his ass. All you heard was ding, 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 bitch. And you would have thought I was at the motherfucking batting cage. And all I remember hearing my homegirl was like, what the fuck, what the fuck? And I'm like, don't worry, I'm going to save you. Like, so I think I done hit her. She's like, Trinity, stop, you hit me. And I'm like, oh shit. So I run over to grab the fucking light, right? And I turn on the fucking light. Why are they two butt naked? I said, bruh. I said, oh my God. Why is he now? I was like, why is the burglar naked? And my mom came out. She was like, what the fuck is going on? She's like, Trinity up here just roaming around in the middle of the fucking night. In my house, how dare I? But she had the nerve to try to get mad at me. My mama said, why the fuck are y'all two butt naked on the motherfucking couch? I told y'all don't have sex on my motherfucking couch. So they start motherfucking arguing. My mama, oh my God, back in the day, my mama really did not fucking play. Like, she started throwing their clothes out the motherfucking house, and she kicked them two naked motherfuckers out the house so motherfucking fast. And I remember she was like, oh my God, baby, I'm so sorry you had to see that. And I was like, Mom, what was he doing naked, strangling her? And she was just like, some people are sick, Trinity. And I was she's like, just go back to bed. What was you up getting? And I was like, a snack. So she helped me get my snack, and I just go to bed or whatever. And I just like. So I remember when I got older, I asked my mom, did she remember that? Because after, I got older, I realized what had happened. So I asked her about it. And she just like laughed about it. And she was like, girl, because she worked with her. She like, girl, when I seen them motherfuckers at work, you fucked them up. They had knots, everything on them. Motherfuckers was going up to them like, who the fuck beat your ass? And she was like, Trinity, my daughter. Y'all, I took that metal bat and I went to town. Like, I thought it was a neighborhood hero on that bitch.
Don't be like me. Don't ever fall in love with your manager, okay? It's never going to end well. This is the beginning of summertime love affair. And I don't know why I call it summertime love affair, because really the actual love part was in the springtime and we ended in the summer. But anyway, summertime love affair. So boom. And for those of you who don't like that I say so boom during my stories, I don't know, block me. I don't care. I don't do this for y'all. I do this for me. I'm releasing trauma. Okay? I'm releasing trauma. Let me release my trauma the way I know how. Anyway, so boom. This was when I was working at a famous pharmacy that starts with a C and ends with an S, and we wear red. I ain't naming no names just because of some of the things that we did in this story while working there. I'm not going to name no names. Okay? Allegedly. This is all alleged. So, boom. When I was working there, if you watch my story times, then you know I was a shift supervisor and he was my operations manager. So when I first started working there, he didn't notice me. I noticed him because he was 6'6", and he looked like a little mix between Wiz Khalifa and Andre 3000. Dark skin, head full of dreads. Don't take me back. But anyway, so yeah, for the sake of this story, we're going to call him Wiz, because obviously I said he looked like Wiz Khalifa, Andre 3000 mix. So He didn't notice me because this was COVID era and I used to have my mask tucked under my glasses. Okay, I wasn't finna catch nothing because we were a pharmacy too, so everybody coming in there sick and all. I wasn't trying to catch nothing. So one day I came into work, I had my hair done, I had my lashes on, and I didn't have no mask on. And I caught his eye because if you've ever seen me outside of this app or outside of work, I'm a bad bitch. But anyway, so I caught his eye and he came over to talk to me. And I had my hair and everything done because I was about to call out for the week because me and my homegirl was going to Miami, and we did go. So he came over and he started talking to me. We introduced ourselves, and honestly, that was the beginning of the end. I already knew he was going to break my heart if I let anything get past flirting. So what did I do? I immediately friend zoned him. I started calling him my best friend. But where I messed up at is when I let things get sexual. And if you are my family, please click off. Okay, this is not for you. This is for people who like the mess, people who like the drama. Okay, so one day we were working, and for the most part, I worked night shift and he worked day shift, but there would be a little time where we like where our shifts lapse or whatever the freak that word is. Anyway, there would be a time where we would work together. So we were the only two managers there that day, and I went to the stock room because I needed something, right? I go to the stock room and he comes in the stock room behind me. So I'm like, if I'm in here and you in here, who watching the floor? And he like, oh no, the employees got that, they good. So mind you, nothing had cameras. No, it didn't have no cameras nowhere in there at that time. So I'm doing what I'm doing because I'm not thinking nothing of it. So he comes up behind me and he pulls me by my hair a little bit. But like, he comes up behind me and he pulls me by my hair and he pulls me to him. If you know me, you know I like that. I like that. I was not offended at all, okay? So he pulls me by my hair and he pulls me to him. And he turns me around and he's 6'6", dark-skinned, dreadhead. You think I'm resisting that? I'm not, okay? Hot and ready like who? Little Caesars. Yeah. So we're just sitting there looking into each other's eyes, and he like, you've been ducking and dodging me. Like, you've been ducking and dodging me. You trying to like friend zone me, and I don't like that. Like, you've been ducking and dodging me. You trying to friend zone me. I don't like that. But he looking into my eyes and he giving me that look. Like he giving me that look. Like we not leaving the stock room. Like, we had never done anything before this. Like I said, I friend zoned him. A little geek because I'm like, y'all, I used to have dreams about this man. Like, I used to have dreams about him, wet dreams, okay? That's how fine he was. So I'm like, is this really about to happen right now? Like, it's because you can feel it. You can feel it in the air. I'm like, is this about to happen right here, right now in the stock room? In the stock room? Like, what if somebody come in? What if somebody see? So I'm like, are we really about to do this right now? And he like, yeah, why not? Like, it's only me and you here, and the employee, like, they're not gonna come in here. And what did we do? We did that. We did just that. It was the greatest 5 minutes of my life because we had to make it fast, you feel me? So it was the greatest 5 minutes of my life. And if you know, you know, we had these caddies where like we would put like the leftover shipment from that we didn't put out on the floor, and we was like in between the caddies, and baby, making it do what it do. We was making it do what it do. And when I tell you, that was the beginning of something that should have never been a thing. And after we did it that first time, we didn't like continue to do it all the time. It was only like a handful of times before we actually decided like, okay, clearly there's something between us. Maybe we should take it seriously. It's not like we were doing it all the time. It was like a spare of the moment thing. Like, if he was feeling it and I was feeling it, then hey, that's what it was. But the problem started when he started messing with the pharmacy tech at the same time that he was messing with me. Granted, even though nothing was established at that time between us when he started messing with the pharmacy tech, it was still messy because it's like, you know, we've done what we've done, and you in here talking to this girl in my face like I'm not supposed to feel away, of course I'm gonna feel away. And I showed my natural born ass. Showed my ass, okay? Not at work, but on the outside. But I'm not going to get into the pharmacy tech beef until the next part of this story. So I just wanted to give y'all the little beginning because y'all been asking for the story time, asking for the story time. So I had to give y'all the beginning of it so that you can understand how the rest of everything unfolds. But yeah, I'm going to call y'all back.
My guy friend told me that he sleeps with his girlfriend 7 times a day on average. On average. So there's a low end. There's also a high end. And I was like, how many times did you sleep with her yesterday? And he said 14. And I said, oh my God. Here's my thing they've been dating for 2 years. They don't know each other. They've never had a conversation in their lives. They don't have time. You know what I mean? He probably barely knows her first name. He's too busy. And that poor girl, she's tiny. And you know why she's so tiny? She's dehydrated. She's shriveled right up.
Did anyone else see that story of that lady on TikTok? Wait, let me explain. So this lady said that she's been married for 8 years and that her husband is deployed overseas all the way in Germany. She says that she barely sees her husband. He comes home 2 or 3 times a year, and when he's home, he only stays for about 2 or 3 weeks. So for the last 2 years, she says she's been feeling real lonely, and she decided to go out and cheat on her husband. She said that she went and she had a one-night stand, and this one-night stand was so good that it turned into an every-night stand. And she recently found out she's pregnant. And clearly this is not her husband's because her husband's overseas, so the man that she's been sleeping with got her pregnant. So now, her and this dude have been messing with each other for 2 years, back and forth. Mind you, she has 3 kids with her husband. She said at first they were getting hotels and stuff, to keep her anonymous. But then, after 2 years, she got a little comfortable, and now she's allowed to go to his house. He's still not allowed to come to hers because, she got kids, and he don't got no kids. Usually she goes over there, and, she's not really paying attention to what's in her house because she has no real feelings for this man. She just, got lonely. But one day, as she's walking in, she decides to pay a little bit close attention to the pictures on his wall. And as she's looking over the pictures on her wall, guess who she sees? Her husband. So now she's freaking out because she's like, how is a picture of my husband and him in this frame on the wall? Of course, she starts panicking. She has to get to the bottom of this, but she doesn't know how to bring it up without saying, how do you know this man? Because this is my husband. So after a while, she decides, I'm just going to ask around, oh, who's this? Oh, that's my grandma. Oh, who that? That's my uncle. So who is this? Y'all would never believe what the man said. The man gonna say, oh, that's my brother. She was thinking there's no way because she's been married to him for 8 years and he's never been in none of the family functions. She never even heard of her husband speak of him. So she asked, oh, is this from your dad's side? He said, yes, from my dad's side. So that makes sense because, the dad got a whole bunch of other kids. So it makes sense to why, she never really seen him. But y'all, the man she's been sleeping with 2 years is her husband's brother. But the story doesn't stop there. So he's like, yeah, that's my brother. I'm real close with him. She's all confused. He starts pulling out pictures. He pulls out a picture. He said, yeah. So she's like, oh, so is he married? He was like, yeah, he is. To his wife in Germany. Yeah, they got 2 kids over there. He has a nice little family in Germany. Y'all, why the man start pulling up pictures of her husband with his wife, his new wife in Germany, and their kids? Mind you, she's pregnant by this man, who she just found out is her husband's brother. She also just found out that her husband got a whole family in Germany. So now she don't know what to do because she's been cheating on her husband clearly has been cheating on her, and now there's a baby about to be involved. Hey, that was just a story I seen, but what would y'all do?
I forget when my homegirl was telling me that her boyfriend was whooping her ass. I was at her house. It was in her room, and she said, Courtney, he's been whooping my ass. He been spitting on me and yelling at me, and she said, I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. What do I need to do, and what's going on? Why is he doing this to me? My parents know, my stepdaddy know, nobody's doing really anything. They don't really care. Okay, so I told her to give him a call. Call him up. Let's call him. Just call him. She said, "What we need to call?" I said, "I just want to call him. Just call him. Just see what he's doing. Call him." Just call him. I snatched the phone. When I tell you I ain't never dug so deep in a nigga ass, I said, "Put your hands on her again, bitch." Actually, don't put your hands on her again, bitch. You pull up right now. Come on down. He wouldn't come on down. Because he knew I was going to whip his ass. That nigga was 125 pounds, soaking wet. I would have laid him all out on the ground. I said, if I find out, if I hear your ass, if I see your ass, I'm on your ass. And he hung up on me. So I called him back. He picked up again. He said, "I'm sorry, Courtney. I didn't mean to do that." So I said, "Well, you don't tell him sorry to me, bitch. You say sorry to her. And if I find out, if I hear anything, bitch, I'm on your ass. I'm on your ass so good, you gonna think I'm your ass. I'm watching your ass." And then from there, I think they was able to talk it out and they was able to figure it out. And he don't whoop her ass no more. So sometimes it takes a village to let people know I'm not playing. That's the same thing with females. If I found out you beating up on my brother, my homeboy, I'm on your ass. It's accountability across all parts.
Okay, grab your water and let me tell you how I accidentally ruined a marriage. So I was working at K Jewelers while getting my master's degree. And the policy there is that everyone who comes inside of the store and they need to get their ring cleaned or inspected, we have to look up their account to log the inspection, right? Hear that. I was following company policy. Hear that. This man and his wife come inside of the store. She comes straight up to me and she's like, "I'm here to get my ring inspected." I'm like, "Cool. I know how to do that. Let me hook you up, girl." I grab my tablet and I'm like, "Who is the ring under? Whose name?" And she's like, "Oh, my husband's name." So she tells me her husband's name, his phone number. Mr. Man back there looking at the watches. He not paying attention to nothing. Okay. So I enter husband name, phone number. Cool. After I do that, 2 rings pop up and they look kind of similar. Okay. So it wasn't like, it was like one ring that was like a chocolate diamond and the other ring that was like a regular diamond. It was 2 cluster rings. And if you know about cluster rings, they kind of all look the same. No tea, no shade. So I'm like, "Ma'am, is it the ring from 2012 or 2009? She goes, 2009. So now I'm officially scared of this woman because I know what's up. I know what's tea. I can see the pieces coming together. She goes, "Hand me the tablet." And I go, "No problem," because who am I to stand in the way of a woman scorned? So I go to the ring cleaning station and I'm cleaning the ring. And you ever been at somebody's house? You ever been at your friend's house while they get in trouble? And all you can hear is their mama yelling at them in the background and you just sitting in their room like this. That was me. So I'm sitting there inspecting the ring and all I hear is, "Who was that ring for? Who was in 2009? You was married? You got another wife? You..." And I'm like, wait. Yo, homie had 2 wives. 2 wives. I get done inspecting her ring. I walk back over to her and I'm like, "Here goes your ring." This man looks me in my face and goes, "Nice job, stupid." Because what you're not finna do is blame me for the fact that you decided to 2-time at K Jewelers. Okay, you got bigger fish to fry, my friend. The woman has herself a little shopping spree. She gets a necklace, a watch, and a little tennis bracelet for her troubles. And they go on about their day. And that was the last inspection I did. Water's done.
That man lied to his girlfriend for 2 years saying that he had sickle cell. All for his cousin to flap them jaws and spill the beans to her that he really had HIV. Jesus, take the wheel. OG Ashley done had my flabbers gassed for the last 20 minutes listening to her story times on this shit. Let me go ahead and break it down for you. So this woman was dating this man for 2 years, and for 2 years he was telling her that he had sickle cell. She was taking him to the doctors and everything, but he wasn't letting her come into the appointments. Red flag number 1. But she ain't think nothing of it. So fast forward, they're at a damn bonfire with his family. She over there talking to his cousin, and his cousin like, you really a good woman for sticking by his side. She like, yeah, sickle cell ain't no joke, you know, it's really hard on the body. He always tired, gotta take a bunch of medicines. The cousin said, who the fuck is sickle cell? Oh my gosh. He said, I don't know who sickle cell is, but that motherfucker got HIV. The girlfriend said, what the fuck? What you mean he got HIV? So the cousin like, oh shit, I thought you knew. She like, fuck no, I ain't know that shit. He told me that his ass had sickle cell. These last 2 years, even his mama ain't say nothing. Nobody said nothing. So the cousin must know some shit about to pop off because cousin dip out. Next thing you know, the girl pull out a pew-pew. She go up to the mom. Got the mama right in the head. She go up to the boyfriend. Got him. So now both the mama and the boyfriend is unalive. The girlfriend dip out because she like, I ain't getting arrested. So she on the run, but while she on the run, she looking for the cousin. Cousin ain't nowhere to be found. All she know is his first name. She can't call nobody, ask nobody because, you know, everybody looking for her. So she used Spyfly to get his information. She end up outside his crib. She like, motherfucker, we got to go to the cops so you can let them know that you the one that told me this shit. So they can know I acted off a reaction and like I could potentially have HIV. He was like, bitch, why you kill my auntie? She said the mama knew for 2 years that this motherfucker had HIV, and do you think she flapped them jaws to me one time? She got to go. So then he like, I don't know what you think you gonna do by going down to the cops, because I ain't going down there. I ain't gonna tell them. They still gonna lock your ass up. And she like, well, how about they lock your ass up? And then he confesses that him and the cousin was actually messing around. That's why he mentioned the HIV to the girlfriend, because he was jealous of the girlfriend and he wanted the girlfriend to like break up with the cuz. But since she went off the deep end and killed the motherfucker, he had to dip out. So then after she learned that, she unalived him and unalived herself too. Damn.
Story time on why I don't fuck with my grandma. So growing up, my grandma lived with my parents my entire childhood, okay? So her purpose of being there was like to watch me and my sister when my parents went to work. When I was 13 years old, I got a dog for my birthday. Her name was Phoebe. She was a Shar-Pei. She was super spunky. She was aggressive towards strangers, and she was very difficult to potty train. All right, moving right along. When I was 15 years old, okay, Phoebe had an accident on the couch. She pissed on the couch, okay? So my grandmother took it upon herself to take my dog to the SPCA. She thought that this would have taught my dog a lesson, I guess. And I remember I got home from school. I was in the 10th grade. And my grandma tells me, your dog pissed all on the couch. So I took her to the SPCA to teach her a lesson. So I started flipping the fuck out. I call my mom like, oh my God, we need to go get Phoebe right the fuck away. My mom leaves her job immediately and goes to the SPCA. Okay? They tell her, you need to come back tomorrow with the person who surrendered your dog. We can't release the dog to you because you're not the person who surrendered her. The very next day, we go to the SPCA as soon as they open, and we're like, hey, we're here to get our dog, yada, yada, yada. And they're like, oh, that Shar-Pei dog? Oh, we euthanized her because she bit one of our employees. And from that second on, I never fuck with my grandma.
I think I've met 2 psychopaths in my life, and unfortunately one of them is actually probably married to my friend. And I don't mean psycho as in like, oh, he's crazy, he's like violent. I mean like, you probably have bitches chopped up in your basement. Like, would not shock me at all. I met him when I was living on the East Coast for a year. I did not like him the moment I met him. Hairs on the back of my neck, standing up, creepy weird. I really didn't like him. When I found out some stories about him, basically my friends were friends with his girlfriend and she went to a different school, but she would tell them that they had this like sexual fantasy that they would play out where she would hide somewhere in her house and he would act like an intruder. She would turn off all of her lights, he would act like an intruder and drag her out of her hiding place, and she would be like kicking and screaming. This man had like defensive wounds on his body, like scratches and shit. And I'm asking my friends, I'm like, is this consensual? Like, are we sure that this is consensual, just knowing the nature of him and how he's, like, manipulative and a liar? And they're like, well, she said it is. And I'm like, well, did you, like, really ask her? Like, are we, like, making her feel comfortable? That wasn't really their MO. And so I never knew about what happened there. They end up breaking up. Worst case scenario, he ends up really wanting to go after one of my friends who is like the most innocent human on the entire planet. Mind you, this is her freshman year of college. She has not drank. She's not had her first kiss. She has not had sex, okay? She's religious. She doesn't want to do any of these things because she feels guilty, right? She still believes in this religion. And so he's pressuring her to have sex. And I'm like, dude, stop doing that. I literally tell him, I'm like, you know she doesn't want to do that. If you actually care about her, you'll respect her wishes and you'll stop trying to make her. And he's like, she's a big girl. She can decide. I'm like, you're right. She is a big girl and she can decide, but you're coercing her. It's different. And he was like, I don't care. I'm like, oh my fucking God. But this man is also like serially cheating on her, right? Like we hear stories and stuff, but like never have any evidence. Finally, one of my friends, very close, lived with me, saw him cheating on her, literally witnessed with her own 2 eyes. And so I'm like, perfect, you're gonna tell her, right? Because we're both friends with her. And she goes, no. I'm like, why the fuck not? And she's like, well, because I'm friends with him too. First of all, who the fuck cares? Second of all, you should tell her. And she's like, no, I wouldn't feel comfortable doing that. I'm like, well, can I tell her then? And she's like, sure. So I end up telling her. I call her into my room. I'm like, hey girl, I have from a very credible source, mind you, the source is sitting next to me, that your man was making out with a girl last night and she watched him make out with her for like 5 minutes in the front lawn. And then actually he ended up bringing her home to his dorm room. She might be in there right fucking now. And she's like, oh my God, who told you? And I'm like, actually, unfortunately, I can't tell you. They asked not to be named. And mind you, the source is sitting next to me, right? And she's like, well, it would really make a difference if I could just talk to that person. I'm like, well, that person doesn't want you to know who they are. So unfortunately, I can't tell you. Fucking crickets from this stupid bitch, right? And so she ends up running over to his dorm room to see if the bitch is still there. The bitch has left. She found evidence of the girl being there, okay? But he somehow manipulates her, tells her this crazy ass story, tells her that I'm a fucking liar and that I'm making all this shit up. And why would she believe me saying some random person saw it and not believe her actual boyfriend telling her? And I'm just like, I can only do so much. And so this like source is friends with this man, right? And so he's in our dorm room kicking his feet and like laughing and joking with her on the bed. And I'm fuming. I'm like, I don't even know how you can look at this man. He's literally such a fucking asshole. And he turns around and he looks at me and goes, so I heard that you told her that I cheated on her. And like smiles. And I'm like, yeah, I did. Why the fuck did you do that? And he was like, honestly, I don't really care. Like, I'm just trying to like have sex because she won't do it. I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to keep fucking telling her. And he laughs and he goes, you really think she'll ever believe you? She will always believe me over you. And gives me like the most chilling, sinister, evil fucking smile I have ever fucking seen. Dead in his eyes. I swear to God. I was looking at that man and I'm like, I can't convince you to give a shit about being a good person. You're actually just fucking crazy. And it goes on like this for years. Literally years and years and years. He ends up like psychologically torturing her. He just treats her like shit. She's constantly nervous. She's always on edge. She's crying all the time. She's depressed. She wants to go home. It was like so fucked up to watch. And it pisses me off that like this source never told, because like you could have saved her. She is now married to this man. She's now married to this man and she will probably stay with him forever. And so if your friends are in a bad situation, make sure you check in on them. Make sure you're honest with them. Obviously, they will only leave when they're ready, but like try to be as accountable as you can. And girl, if you're watching this, you know who you are. I hope you're doing okay. And you can always call me.
Diddy is not the only one who had them freak offs. If Diddy is, you know, woo, 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 and Cassie definitely is a victim, Diddy ain't the only person going down. So y'all want a story time about how I unintentionally attended a freak off. I think it's crazy because people think that only Diddy started these freak offs, but I'm pretty sure anybody in the industry can tell you exactly how often freak offs happen. Now this was back in like 2016. It was in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm gonna get straight to the point. Invited out by a group of people that were in the entertainment industry because I was a dancer and I had pulls and connects. I had so like anybody else that was in that time, everybody wanted to go to Atlanta. Atlanta was the Black Hollywood. So I go to this restaurant, nice ass restaurant. I made the comment that I was cold and these people literally brought me a personal heater. Like, I mean, to me that was something because I was young and it's like, okay, little old me. Okay. So fast forward that night, it was 3 men, and this is at the hotel. It was 3 men. I was family with one of them. So mind you, I was supposed to have 2 separate rooms. Everybody was in one room. I'm the only female in the room. That was the first red flag. I didn't care because I just knew at the end of the day, like, I could call up a female and it's Atlanta. Like, come on now. Okay, we go to this party that I wasn't even intentionally invited to. It was like I was just a plus one. Mind you, I did know the dude very well. It wasn't like he was a stranger. No, we had done plenty of shows together with, I don't want to name drop, but like I am just to show credentials. It was Jessica, Dom, Melissa, Stevie. We had to work with a couple people. Okay, at the time, Love and Hip Hop was just starting out. So later on that night, it was a party, and it was a masquerade party. Did not know too much about masquerade parties. I just knew that it was this big mansion masquerade party, and everybody had to wear masks. So walking in, everybody had the type of mask that you wear to your face. If you didn't have one or brought one, they had them like at the table as soon as you walk through the door. Mind you, you did have to have a code, like a secret word to get in. And once you get in, it was literally just like a regular mansion ballroom type of thing. So this is where you get crazy, right? So my homeboy, or whoever you want to call him, he's an older dude. I'm younger. You probably would have thought the nigga was my sugar daddy, but if you know, you know. And for the people in the SIP, if you know the only man that I was hanging around and now he's locked up, you do the math. And no, it's not Diddy. Be for real. So anyway, this whole mansion party, it was like, you wouldn't have known if it was any celebrities there, like I said, because everybody had on masks. And I don't think this had anything to do with like no. So the guy that I'm cool with, he wanders off and he leaves me because there was like this back room. It had a red rope and it was security standing there. And if you did not know anybody, like you had to know somebody to get in this back section. Okay. That's like alcohol. But y'all, the alcohol was not the same type of alcohol that I drink now. And I was not a drinker until I started dancing. So it really makes me think now how much I honestly did not remember, like, I don't know, minutes. He comes back, he says immediately, y'all, we gotta go. Y'all, when I tell you, when we get back to the room, this man act like he had seen a fucking ghost. And he literally told me, I'm trying to get straight to the point as possible. There were Asian kids that were performing sexual acts on Caucasian men. There were Vietnamese or Asian kids, again, serving Uggs on trays, dancing on top of tables, basically entertaining these men. And it was different rooms. It was room after room after room with this going on. He said that he was so disturbed because he had kids older than the kids that were doing all of this stuff. And the kids obviously had been so used to it. So honestly, it had me thinking, if a grown man is spooked out behind what he saw, how till that day, y'all, when I say he was, like I said, promoters back then were not the same as promoters we're not the same as promoters now. Promoters back then actually booked people, like I said, we booked numerous of celebrities at the time, and it was never no problem. And like I said, the names that I dropped had nothing to do with this freak off, so that was just for credentials. But he stopped promoting, he stopped doing music, and he's also locked up right now for, like, I think drug charges, I don't know. But he was never the same after that. He saw, but a couple years later, after this whole Justin Bieber Yummy Yummy video came out, y'all, that stuff made me sick to my stomach, because as soon as you walk in, it was, just go watch that video if you ain't watched the video. But that's basically exactly how it happened. So I say that to say this: Diddy is not the only one who had them freak offs. If Diddy is, and I can fact check everything. But anyway, stay tuned for the next story time about how one of the most famous rappers of their time.
One time I told my friend not to sleep with this guy because I thought he was a loser, and she didn't listen to me, and she slept with him anyway. She got pregnant by him, and then she had a daughter with him. And then when I was in college, she told me that I could write a paper on her family because I found it interesting that her mom was adopted, but who would let her grandma adopt a baby? Because I knew her grandma, and there's no way. And so I had to build her family tree to try to figure out who her mom's biological parents are. And when I did that, I added her daughter to the tree, and then I added her daughter's father. And then I started nosing into his business and his family tree. And I discovered that he's from this tiny incest town in middle of nowhere, Idaho. And at one point in time, everybody in that town had to have been related because these 4 families moved there from Virginia. And instead of leaving the town to find people to date. They just dated, married, and procreated with each other over and over for generations. And it got to the point that the children were not surviving past childhood anymore because they were being born so deformed and having so many health issues. And then some babies just were not surviving. And the death certificates literally said stuff like the parents were triple related, so the baby wasn't capable of surviving, and all of this stuff. I ended up writing my paper on his family instead of her family because I found the rampant incest in that town to be so fascinating. And I'm telling you this because I want you to keep this in mind. Next time your friend tells you not to sleep with some guy because he's a loser, she might be saving you from sleeping with some guy who comes from hundreds of years of incest.
My sister passed away 2 years ago, y'all. And I found out she been texting my man the whole time. She really faked her death to be with him. Mind you, everybody knew but me. They even got a 3-month-old baby. My mama told me that she adopted another kid. But whole time it's my dad's sister and my man baby. And I didn't question it at all because like I said, my mom already have adopted kids. And I spoiled the fuck out of my little sister. Like, I was involved in raising the little girl too. Let me put y'all on. So my sister always been sick. Like, since she was younger, she always had seizures. On top of that, she was a diabetic. So she always had health problems. So when she passed away, like, I genuinely believed it. Now, mind you, I don't stay in the same city as them. I get a call at 3 a.m. one night. Mom is devastated, boiling, saying my sister had a seizure, never been this bad before. And they was rushed her to the hospital. And literally the next morning, yo, I get a call again. It's my mom, even more devastated. Girl, she crying. She going crazy. Saying, she didn't make it. She didn't make it. She passed away. I immediately dropped my phone. Yeah, I was so fucking crushed. Like, me and her was not the closest, but that's still my sister at the end of the day. But y'all, it was one red flag. Because instantly, I'm about to fly to y'all. I'm on my way. My mom like, no, don't come. Stay where you at. You know, you working. You out of town. Like, it's not worth coming up here. I'm like, not worth it, but whatever. Like, but I did just start this job I had. I wasn't even 2 weeks in, y'all. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just stay. I felt horrible, but you know what? It is what it is. So as the months went by, y'all, I was so sad. Like, I fell into depression. I thought I really lost my sister. Yo, my man was not that comforting. Some shit like, let it go, life goes on, like, you know, forget about it. He was real insensitive to the situation, y'all. And I had no idea why. So I needed real fucking love, real support. So we flew back to our hometown to my mom. Yeah, when I say the whole fucking time, like, he was MIA, like, I'm home, my mom crying, like, fucking devastated. Girl, he not around, not there at all. I ain't know why back then, but bitch, now I do. So we stayed there for like a week and we went back home. So months went by again, y'all. And one night, this one particular night, everything got on the fucking, like, I seen everything. We were finna have movie night, y'all. Order a pizza, you know, vibe out, date night. My phone had died, so I had to use this phone to order the pizza. But bitch, as I'm dialing the motherfucking number, a text come through, and it's my sister number. Talking about I love you, good night. Bitch, my fucking heart dropped. First of all, I was creeped the fuck out, cause what? I go to the message, girl, it's a whole fucking thread, bitch. I'm talking about for these whole 2 years, bitch, they been like chopping the fuck up. I'm talking about in a full-blown relationship. He was even there when she gave birth to her baby. Well, to their baby. I ran to the bathroom, locked the fucking door. And I went through everything, yo. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this shit is fucking insane. That bitch, ooh. More of the story is her and my man was in love. Like, in love. Still is in love. This video getting too long. Like, do y'all want a part 2 or what?
Story time of how I left the date before it even started. So, this guy asks me out on a date, right? I'm like, okay, cutesy, like, let's go. Young and naive. I'm like, let's give this man a chance, right? The plan was to go to a cinema, get a cheeky meal, go our separate ways. I'm like, that's cutesy. Love that. Let's go. The day of, we're texting, like, you know, just to make sure we both get there around the same time. And I'm like, hey, like, I just got done getting ready, like, should be leaving in the next 5 to 10. He's like, okay, I'll get in the shower now. I was like, no, I said I'm done getting ready. I should, like, he was like, yeah, I'll get in the shower now, don't worry, I'll be there before you. I'm really quick, I live close by. I was like, right, that's a red flag number 1, but we'll let that go. I get to the place. Guess who obviously isn't there? Him. He's like, yeah, sorry, I'm 5 minutes away. I'm like, oh, okay. Pulls up 5 minutes later. I'm like, okay. Red flag, but at least it's 5 minutes. I'll give you a little grace. No, we'll walk into the cinema. He's like, oh, I actually need to quickly pop by a shop and buy some stuff. I was like, okay. He walks into some sneaker store and is like, oh, can you record me as I buy the shoes? My flabber was beyond gusted. When I say, I literally stared at him like, you want me to record you buying Okay. So there I am standing like an idiot on his phone, recording him make the purchase. And I'm chuckling, but I'm like, okay, it's fine. We leave. Now we're walking to the cinema. Does this man not say, so what movie are we watching? Listen, I may be a very sweet person, but I have the rage of a man. I turned to that man and I said, what do you mean, what movie are we watching? He's like, no, I figured you would have checked. I said, why the fuck would I have checked when you asked me on the date? Now he's like, whoa, why are you getting mad? I'm like, what do you mean, why am I getting mad? Oh, fine. We get to the cinema. Now we have to look to see what movie options there are, what time they start, is it reasonable? Fine. As we're doing that, he's like, okay, wait, I'll be back. I need to go somewhere quickly. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, like I'll be back just now. I'm like, okay. Now in my mind, heavily delusional. I'm used to princess treatment. I'm like, okay, this is his compensation. He's gonna go buy me flowers because he feels bad. I was like, okay. 5 minutes go by. I'm like, okay, that's justifiable. 10 minutes go by. I said, no, there's no way you're buying flowers that are around the corner and it takes you 10 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do a little bit of shopping. I do a little bit of shopping. I go back. He's still not there. I'm like, yeah, no, it's not gonna work. I called an Uber and I went home. I put on my pajamas and I watched Netflix and I had an amazing time. He was obviously blowing up my phone. Where are you? Where the frick are you? I was like, I'm at home. He's like, why are you at home? I was like, because you're actually taking the piss. Like, actually, you take me for a joke and it's not gonna work. Like, what are you talking about? Because I was stood there, like in total, between me standing there, going shopping and coming back, I think it was over half an hour. And he didn't even say where he was going. He just said, I'll be back. Anyway, yeah, never saw that man again. Blocked him as soon as I got home. Wait, and I forgot to add, that man hat-fished me. He was bald-headed. I found out too late, but it's okay.
You guys want to hear how a messy gay is the reason that I found out my ex had cheated on me? This was like 10 years ago at this point, but I had been dating this guy for only about like 3 months or so. And he was a partier. The man had a problem. Okay. Anyway, we lived in 2 separate cities, like an hour and a half away from each other. And the night before I was supposed to go see him, he did his usual thing where he went out and got like belligerent. And I didn't really hear from him. Usually he would call me at like 3 a.m, which was fucking annoying, but I was 23 and I was like, oh my god, hi babe. Ugh. I'm like, okay, whatever. So me and my friend go to his city. We all go out that night, and my ex had this gay friend who was in love with him, like wanted him so badly, made it so clear. I later found out that he had crossed the line with my ex at one point. Anyway, so my ex had told me that he had gotten a ride home the night before from this evil gay guy. And so we're at this party this night when we're all hanging out, we're having a great time, we're all in a room together, smoking cigs, getting into trouble. And my ex and his friend are like talking about the night before and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, well, you know, because you dropped him off after, right? And the evil gay looks me dead in the eyes. He knows what he's doing. Looks me right in the eyes and goes, I didn't drive him home. And I go, huh? Who drove him home then? And he has this evil ass smirk on his face and he looks at me and goes, Marissa did. Now, Marissa was a girl from my ex's past. I don't know if that's her name. I'm just making it up. But it was a girl from his past, right? And it was like the color drained out of my face. And it was like, the evil gay was like puppeteering. And also the evil gay goes, when I went by there this morning, she was still there. So I confront my ex, of course, and I was like, what the fuck? And he was like, oh, she did drive me home, but like, you know, and she did stay the night, but like, I slept on the ground. Like, she slept in my bed, and she slept on the ground. And I was like, sure. But in the corner, as I'm fighting with my fucking ex, is evil gay, who's just staring, I think rubbing his hands together, being like, yes. And honestly, shout out to him. because his motives were sinister. And he said, bro code? No, I don't do that here. I'm evil. Because we did break up shortly after that. Thank God. And also, like, he wasn't doing it to, like, be a girl's girl and to, like, help me out. No, he didn't give a fuck about me. No. He was messy. He wanted to stir the pot. And you know what?
Help. Y'all, help me. I don't know what to do. How do I tell my coworker that she stink? Hear me out. So my company flew us out to California for a training, whatever. For people that stink, that knowingly get up and don't put on deodorant, tell me, do you not notice when you get into a room that people start to like move around you a little differently than others, gather around differently? You don't smell that when you come in the room. It might have been a little better, but you made it a little bit ripe. Y'all, we're in the training room. Yesterday, I noticed it, and I was like, damn. So I kept my distance. Then somebody was like, oh, it smells a little funny in here, don't it? And I was like, today, we're playing a game. Funked up the whole room on my mama and everyone else's mama. We all left that room. There was another guy, he was like, I don't even want to play the game no more. And I was like, because it's a little hot in here, right? And he was like, yeah. And he's an older white man. Then I was like, maybe it's a cultural thing. But then I was like, but there's 3 other people in here that's from the same cultural background as her. And they don't smell like that. And they smell her too. I get into there today. They got my name over in the corner with her because they moved us around since yesterday. And I said no. Because first of all, I was sitting sideways and the screen was to the side. And I was like, I need to be sitting back in my position where I can see the screen like face first. So I went back to my position. By the grace of God, I'm so glad. But y'all, the smell was still coming throughout the whole building, like the whole part that we were in. So much so that the trainers that even came in there opened up the door. We had to air the bitch out. And then after we were done with the game and the whole place was so ripe, we literally went outside. We went outside of the room. And she was the only one sitting in that room. And I was like, good Lord, I gotta breathe. It took over. Even the AC couldn't get rid of the smell for a solid 15 minutes, yo. So I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna talk to her. And then another girl was like, the Ethiopian girl, she was like, but you think she don't know? And I was like, I don't know. Because you knowingly got up and didn't put deodorant on. And then we got in the bus to come back to the hotel. Soon as we sat down, and I hate this because I don't want nobody thinking that I'm the one that smelled funky as hell. Soon as we got in there, I was already in there with the bus driver. I didn't stink. The man come in that's from her cultural background. He didn't stink. She came in. He was like, so he rolled the window down with the AC going. And I was like, it smells crazy in here, right? And he was like, yeah. And I said, I want you to know it's not me. So do I say something to her or do I leave it alone because we're all flying back to Texas tomorrow? But mind you, if she's on my flight, I have to deal with that the whole time. But also someone else also got to deal with it. What do I do? What do y'all funky ass people be doing?
One thing I stand by is anytime I start talking to a new man, I make him take me to the club. Destiny, why would you be going to the club and you're talking to somebody? I thought you were trying to get out of the club. That's why you're talking to somebody. No. Actually, I got to see how the city reacts when you're outside. I have to see what's going on. Now, my homegirl started talking to this boy, and he basically, like, flew her out and told her, bring a friend. Now, you have to be careful when they say bring a friend because sometimes they're also expecting your friend to be on the same type of timing. Like, if my man asks me to bring my friend, I have to tell him, you know what? Slow your roll. What's your intention with my homegirl? Why would my homegirl be here? And a lot of times it is just to make sure, like, you feel comfortable, right? It's not always because they trying to do weird stuff. A lot of times it is to make sure you feel comfortable. So this was one of those times where it was just to make sure she was comfortable where she was going, you know? So I tagged along. I got flew out too. Everything goes well. Flights go well. Black truck pickup and drop off to the hotel went well. Like, no weird vibes at all. So I'm sitting here like, girl, this is great. This is great. This might be a good one. But what we need to do is we need to make sure we get to the club tonight. And she's like, girl, why do you always have to go to the club? I said, I don't have to go to the club. You have to go to the club. And you need him to go to the club. Y'all have to go to the club. Because you need to see how the city reacts when he walks into the club. So boom, we get ready. We go downstairs to the bar. It's like a restaurant bar in our hotel. And he meets us there. And this is like a quick bite quick drink before we figure out what we're doing for the night, right? And he gets there, he's like, okay, y'all, so what are we gonna do? Like, I know for a fact, I know you guys want to have a good time. Like, what do you guys want to do? And she's like, I think we want to go to the club at least one night. Like, we want to go out, see what the city's about, and have a good time, right? After she tells him, like, oh, we want to go out, he gets a little weird and he's like, oh, I don't think there's anything going on tonight. Mind you, we're in a major city on a Friday night. There's something going on, baby. You're going to figure it out. And he's like, I just don't think I really want to go out tonight. Like, we could just do something fun. Like, let's go bowling. There's like arcades. We could do really anything, but I just don't want to go out. And I look at her and I text her, red flag 1. Red flag, red flag. My homegirl's not new to this. She's true to this. So she tells him, oh, that's okay then. We'll just go out by ourselves. Like, we'll figure out what to do tonight on our own. And I'll just see you some other time. And he goes, no. Like, I want to chill with you, though. Like, I wouldn't have brought you out here if I didn't want to get to know you. Like, we could go out. Let me hit the guys and we'll figure it out. And I said, yeah, hit the guys and figure it out. You better. You know how long it take the guys to figure out if they want to go out? 5 minutes. He gets a text in 5 minutes like, yeah, come here, and here. Excuse me, sir. Lie number 1. Y'all didn't figure out plans in 5 minutes. Y'all been had the plans. They been had the plans at the least, so you knew what was going on. Red flag. Red flag. Basically, he's like, yeah, they have something planned. Like, we could go out. Do y'all have to go get anything? Like, do y'all need to go to the mall? Are y'all good? And I'm prepared, but every time I hear a little shopping spree, I'm like, tell him we got to go shopping, girl. Tell him we got to go shopping. So she's like, oh, yeah, we do have to go to the mall. And he's like, okay, bet we're going to go right now because I have to find something too. Like, we'll just all find something, grab it, and we'll go get ready. And we're like, perfect, bet. This is turning into a great trip already. We just got here. We go to the mall. We get our outfits. He gets us everything. And we head back to the hotel. We go get ready, right? Right. Fast forward to us finally ready to go. We get dressed, we get cute, and we look good this night. And he calls us a car to his crib because we're going from his crib to dinner. It was a cute little steakhouse moment, and all of his friends met us there. So basically, we made it to the restaurant, drank a little bit, ate, got acquainted, and then we all got in an Uber, headed to the club. Now, this is when the fun part of the night begins for me because now I'm watching ya. Now I'm seeing what's going on. When we walk in here, whose vibes change, you know? She may be focused on him, but I'm also focused on him. But I'm not focused on him for the same reason she's focused on him. I'm focused on him because you need to be focused on my homegirl, and I got to see if you're somebody that my homegirl could deal with. Because if we walk in here and there's issues because you running around the city, now we're going to have a problem. Now, for some reason, they brought us to like a lounge at first, and I had to tell her, I'm not feeling this. This doesn't feel like the littest place in the city. Like, we have to be where the city's at in order for me to accomplish my mission. So basically she's like, oh, we're not having a good time. And he's like, okay, but we'll just get a table at a big club, basically. Now we get to the table and there's already somebody at the table, and we get there's girls already at the table, and I don't feel any weird vibes, but there is one girl who's like staring at us and deep in her phone. Now, keep in mind, when we were at the restaurant, they were all over each other. He was all over her. She was back all over him, but it was definitely initiated by him, okay? Keep that in mind. Also, second club, they were still kind of lovey-dovey. Like, he eased off a bit because he was with his homeboys, but it was still very much like, you know who's working with who, you know? Keep that in mind. 30, maybe 40 minutes goes by at this point, and we see these girls walk up to the section. Now, he's with all of his teammates and friends, so, like, surely they could be with them, right? Right. Now, when the girls come, there's one girl that goes straight to him and then to the girl that was deep in her phone when we arrived. And I said, yep, there it is. There it is right there. And I said, we're going to watch her. We're going to watch her. And at this point, he gets even more distant. After he hugs her, he like really separates from my friend. I said, yeah, we don't make a big deal about it, but I'm definitely peeping, right? And then the girl, she like is overly nice to us. And we're like, okay, maybe she's just nice. Like, maybe that's just his friend and she's just nice, right? But she's like feeding us shot after shot after shot after shot after shot. And it's like, okay, I was drinking before this. this feels like you're trying to intentionally get me drunk. Like every single time I take a shot, she hands me a new shot. And it's like, not just me, but like it's me and my homegirl. And it feels like it's just us two that are getting that treatment. And we're like, we don't even know her. Like, what's going on? At first, I'm thinking I'm being paranoid though. And so I ask her, like, does it feel like she's trying to get you drunk? Like, or is that just me? And she's like, no, she's definitely like heavily trying to get this stuff flowing, right? And I tell her, you know what? Stop drinking. Something's weird. So we stopped drinking for the night, and we were like 15 minutes after that last shot, we were like, okay, time to break that seal, girl. Especially when we've been drinking all night, we try to hold it. But especially me, if I break the seal, baby, I'm going pee every 7 seconds. So this is the first time we're going to the bathroom, and this is when we're breaking the seal. She taps him just to update him, just in case he cares about if anything happened to us. She's like, oh, we're going to the bathroom. He just, like, very dry, like, and he wasn't being dry before this. So I was like, I don't like that. So we get to the bathroom and we go pee, and it's time to start discussing. And as we're discussing, girl comes by and she hears us talking of, like, we don't say his name, but she's like, I'm like, oh, he's being weird right now, right? Like, ever since the other girls came in, he's been acting odd. And she's like, yeah, he has, but like, he's not usually this dry, but maybe it's because he's with his friends. Like, she's refusing to believe it's because it's another girl. The girl, she comes in overhearing what we're talking about. She's very sweet about it. And she's like, oh, who did you come with? And my homegirl, I don't know why she did it, but she went ahead and told the girl exactly who she was with, right? And I don't know if she was maybe testing the waters or what, but immediately, girl is pissed. She's like, oh, you're with him? That's crazy. That's my man. Like, I can't believe he would do this to me. He's bringing you out in public. Like, how long have you guys just... Basically full-blown interrogation in the bathroom. And I grab my homegirl. I'm like, don't answer no more questions. We're out of here. We try to leave. She follows us, and we all go back to the section together, and we're all looking at him like, care to explain? Because we're confused. He sees all three of us together, and all you see is him mouth fuck. And I'm like, yeah, fuck. But before me and my homegirl could say anything, you know who gets to get in his ass immediately? Oh, girl. Now, in the middle of the club, she throws a drink at him, and they're literally arguing in the middle of the club. After the drink is thrown, the whole section gets cleared out, and everybody leaves. My homegirl tries to figure out like what's going on, but I just tell her, you know what, we're gonna go back to the hotel, and he'll just hit us later because he has too much going on. Clearly, we're debriefing in the Uber, and I'm like, see, this is why you take your man out. This is why. Look it. You wouldn't have even known about this girl if you didn't take him out. He texts her, my bad, that's my baby mama. I didn't know she was going to be out here. I deal with her still. And basically, like, you're taken care of for the trip, but you're cut off. Is basically, y'all are good for the trip, but you're cut off is basically the outcome of what all happened. Turned into an all-paid girls trip for us, but he got beat up in the club and in the Uber, rumor has it. Take that.
Men never ask women for help, so if a man is asking you for help, he has ulterior motives. At my old apartment, a really creepy man moved into my building, and when he caught me outside one day with my dog, because usually when I would see him, I would go right back into my house because he was that creepy. He called me outside one day with my dog and was like, hey, can you come in my apartment real quick? I think something's wrong with my washing machine. Mind you, this is an apartment. There's emergency maintenance. There's maintenance. We live right next to the leasing office. Come in your apartment? No, really, I just want you to look at something. And this is what men count on. They count on you being just totally unaware, or they count on you not saying anything. So my neighbor ended up coming outside, and I literally yelled from my building to her building, why is this man asking me to come look at his washing machine? So now he's looking at me like, so my neighbor walks over and she's like, what? Why are you asking her to look like what? And so he's like, no, I just really needed, like, he's sticking to the story, y'all. I just really needed help. I really just wanted her to come put eyes on something. As she told him, we have maintenance. There's 24-hour emergency maintenance, and we have regular maintenance. This is during the daytime. Walk over to the leasing building. He is sticking to this story, y'all. And if a man asks you for help, he is setting you up.
Have y'all ever had y'all homegirl send y'all on a mission to crack somebody baby daddy because they won't stop messing with her baby daddy? So boom, my homegirl, she posted, she ranting and raving on her close friends, right? She ranting and raving because the girl, she caught the girl and her baby daddy talking. And she had, I think her baby daddy went to go see the girl, and she found out, right? Me and this girl are no longer friends, so I can tell this story. So boom, she ran and raving on her close friends. She going ham. She mad. She like, oh, this got me fucked up, blah, 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 blah. So I chime in and I'm like, what's going on? So she give me the rundown. The girl been messing with her baby daddy and she want her get back, basically. So the girl also had a baby daddy. So we gonna name my homegirl, we gonna name her Ginger. So my homegirl Ginger had a baby daddy, right? And the girl who was messing with Ginger baby daddy also had a baby daddy. Are y'all following? So my homegirl like, I need you to do me a favor. And I'm like, okay, what you need me to do? She like, I need you to crack her baby daddy. Like, I need you to see if, you know, you can take her baby daddy. And I'm like, oh girl, no problem. Because like I said, outside of this app, I'm a bad bitch. So I'm like, oh girl, no problem at all. So she sends me all the baby daddy information, right? She sent me all the baby daddy information. She sent me the baby daddy socials, all that. So I go and I add the baby daddy on Twitter, right? I go and I follow the baby daddy on Twitter. Immediately he follows me back. Easy. Men are so easy. Immediately he follows me back, right? So I don't say nothing right then and there. I let a couple days go by, and right around that time that I followed him, it was my birthday. So it was my birthday, and I had posted this real cute picture for my birthday. And I remember because he had commented under it and told me happy birthday. And then he DM'd me and told me happy birthday. So from there, I knew I was in. So once he DM'd me and told me happy birthday, I immediately screenshotted it and sent it to my homegirl. I said, boom, we got him. We got him, Joe. I immediately sent it to my homegirl. I'm like, we got him. I'm in there. So boom. And you know what? My homegirl sent me because she knew I was going to get her done. And I'm not going to sit up here and act like I just be wilding out. I really don't, y'all. But I'm spontaneous. What can I say? I'm spontaneous and liberated. We'll say that. But anyway, so she knew to send me. She knew to send me because she knew I was going to get the job done. Judge your mammy. So boom. After he DM'd me happy birthday, we start talking in the DMs. You know, we flirting back and forth, whatever. And I get straight to it. I'm like, when I'm finna see you? When I'm finna see you? And he like, you can see me now. You feel me? So we coordinate times or whatnot. And what did he do? He pull up. I have him pull up to the spot. Whole time, he don't know who my homegirl is because I added him on Twitter and not Instagram for a reason, because you know Instagram you can see mutual followers, and Twitter you can too, but people don't really pay attention to that. So I added him on Twitter for a reason. So he didn't know that my homegirl was my homegirl. He didn't know that Ginger was my homegirl. I ended up telling him after the fact. So boom, I invite him over, we chilling, we puff passing in the air, whatever. He falling in love, period. He liked me. He really did. Because even after I cracked him, we continued to talk. So boom, we just chilling, everything cool. We passing it, passing it in the air. And one thing led to another, and boom, I cracked him. Mission accomplished. So after I cracked him, he actually ended up spending the night. He spent the night and he gave me some grass. I said, ooh, okay, I like you. Maybe we could keep talking. So boom, after I cracked him and he left my house, I immediately let my homegirl Ginger know. I'm like, girl, mission accomplished. I cracked him. I did that. Okay? I don't know if she went and she told his baby mama like, hey, and that's why my homegirl cracked your man. But somehow the baby mama knew. Okay? his baby mama knew, and that's how he figured out that Ginger was my homegirl. But he didn't even care. He didn't even give a damn. He still was talking to me after that. I think I talked to him after that for about a month or two, and we was on and off seeing each other, cracking, and making it do what it does. He was actually really cute too. He was actually really cute. So I continued to talk to that girl baby daddy, and I did not care. But I did my big one for my homegirl, because don't be messing with my homegirl baby daddy. The hell? What you messing with my homegirl baby daddy for? And you got your own baby daddy. Go mess with him. So now I'm gonna mess with him, and now you're gonna be mad. And she was pissed. So that is, and he even spent the block. Like, I ended up cutting him off. I forgot why, but I ended up cutting him off, and he ended up spinning the block like a couple of months later, and we ended up talking again. Not I knocked my nose ring out, but yeah, we ended up talking again. Child. So that's the time my homegirl sent me on a mission to crack her enemy baby daddy, and I did it. I'm gonna call y'all back.
So a few weeks ago, I had to end things with somebody that I was dating because he spent the night one night, and then the next morning he used my bathroom, didn't flush the toilet, and left pee all over the seat, and then proceeded to lay in my bed and chill on his phone while I was in the kitchen cooking him breakfast. And then after he ate breakfast, he didn't even offer to help clean up and just left everything out on the counter. And until this happened, there really weren't any major red flags that I had noticed until I started reflecting on little things that were bothering me here and there of things that he was doing on our other dates. Because these weren't like outwardly huge red flags to the point where I was just gonna stop talking to him. But now that I have all of this information and I'm putting all the pieces together, I'm like, okay, that's why all of these things were bothering me. So on our 4th date, we went bowling, and we had to wait for our lane to be ready, and there was a bar in that same place, so we just decided to go sit at the bar. And he was like, are you gonna drink tonight? And anyone that knows me knows that I don't drink, but every once in a while I'll have something. So I was just like, you know what, sure, tonight I'll have a drink. He then tells me that he forgot his wallet at home that has his license in it, and he's gonna show his license on his phone to the bartender if like she tries to card us. And I looked at him and I was like, that's not gonna work. They're gonna require a physical copy of your license for this to work. So of course the lady cards us. He tries showing his ID on his phone, and she's like, yeah, that's not gonna work. We're gonna need your actual license. And he didn't outwardly say anything, but I could tell that he was like fuming on the inside, which again, I feel like anyone knows in 2025 that typically you can't get away with showing your ID on your phone. So neither of us get a drink, and we go over because there's a pool section right there, and we start playing pool. A few minutes into playing, he is like, hey, I have an idea. What if you go to the bar and you order your drink, wait a few minutes, and then go up and order my drink? And I was like, that's not gonna work because they're totally gonna catch on to the fact that I'm ordering a drink for both you and me. But I agreed to it anyway because I was like, whatever. He made a comment about how he typically would never make me pay for my own drink, but because he left his wallet at home, that's unfortunately what had to be done. Mind you, this man has Apple Pay, and I'm guessing he probably had Venmo too. This kind of rubbed me the wrong way though, because I feel like because he made that comment about never making me pay for my own drink, he should have taken out his phone then and there and been like, hey, what's your Venmo? I'll pay you for the drink right now. But he didn't do that. So whatever, I go and get my drink. It was only $11. And while I'm getting my drink, our lane is ready. So he leaves to go get that set up. When we get to the lane, he puts in the wrong name for me in our game. Instead of Alexa, he wrote Alexis. Mind you, he had never called me Alexis once up until that point. And I called him out and I was like, you know, that's not my name, right? And he was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Like, he was acting so like embarrassed. But I was like, this is weird because you've never once called me the wrong name. Then we start playing, and as we're playing, servers will come up to us and ask us like, hey, do you guys want anything to eat or drink? So naturally, he finally gets to order his drink and they don't card him. And this made me furious because I was like, first of all, why were you not able to wait like 15 or 20 minutes while we were waiting for our lane to be ready to get your precious alcohol? But instead you had to create this elaborate plan for me to go up there and buy my own drink and then go up and buy yours too, when in the end they were just going to be serving us alcohol anyway and not even be carding us for it. Also, we're bowling. Why do you need to drink alcohol? Like, why is that so important to you on a bowling date? So I was just super frustrated at that point. And typically this is not something I would bring up, but because the situation is over and I'm just so disgusted by this man, the final thing that made my ick go over the edge was how bad this man was at bowling. I'm not good at bowling. Like, I'm lucky sometimes if I can even break 100. This man was getting gutter balls like every single shot. In fact, I have never seen such horrific bowling form in my life. He like took the ball and had his arm bent, and he was throwing the ball with the same leg. And here I was afraid that I was going to give him the ick playing bowling. Again, I'm not here to shame anyone's lack of athletic abilities because like I'm not super athletic and I'm typically not the best at these sorts of things. But if you're so bad to the point where I'm like breaking 100 and you maybe have 50 points, if that, like, oh my God. And again, like I said, typically this isn't something that would be considered like a huge ick for me, but because he did so many other things up to that point that had already made me so annoyed and given me the ick, it was just like the final straw. But yeah, I still have more things that this man did that were very subtle over the dates that we went on. But now that I pieced it all together, it all makes sense.
Stop spending the night at these boys' houses. I'm telling you. Let me tell y'all. The last night I ever spent at a man's house, this should have been the first red flag. Because the first time I went to his house, I'm sitting in the room, I'm sleeping. He's knocked out cold. Right? And I'm laying there, I just hear. So I'm like, yo, dude, what's that? Yo, this man got a girl knocking on his window. So I'm like, yo, dude, it's a bitch at the window. So she busy trying to get her way in. So I wakes him up. He go to the window, say something to her, and she leaves, right? So I'm like, I'm never going back to this boy house no more. Boom. Now we get a snow blizzard, and homeboy hits me up. So I wasn't really in the mood to go, but he got me. He like, I'll get you some food. We could smoke. We could do whatever you want. We could chill. Like, it's okay. You'll be fine. So I'm like, okay, let me go. So I go and I get me some oxtail rice and peas and a bigger soda. Puts it on the dresser. So we sitting there for like 10 minutes. He like, damn, I ain't even give me nothing to eat. I'm about to go get some food and come back real quick. You want me to lock the door? So I'm like, yeah, lock it. I don't care. So he locks his room door and he step out. Soon as the motherfucker step out, all I hear is boom, 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 boom. Bunch of ruckus. So I'm like, what the hell is that? So I'm just sitting on the bed, scrolling, looking at my lives. It was Instagram Live at the time. I'm really watching my Instagram Lives. And I'm like, what is that noise? So I'm like, it's probably that girl again popping back up. He ain't gonna let her come in the room, whatever. 2 seconds later, boom! The door is kicked open. Ain't no more door. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? Y'all, I got caught in a home invasion. So they come, they like, where's everything? Da-da-da-da-da. Where's the this? Where's the that? So I'm like, I don't know. I just came here to get some free food and go home. I didn't even get to eat the food. It's still on the table. So they ransacking his stuff. They got masks on, pew-pews out, all of that. So like, get on the floor, flip the bed, take my phone, crack the phone. I'm like, oh my God, nigga, this is real. So I'm just laying there on the floor at this point because they done top over the bed, not threw me on the floor, but they like politely said to get down. Well, one of them was polite. The other one, he was pretty rude about it. He had the pew-pew all in my back and shit. So I'm like, oh my God, what is happening? So they all looking for the stuff. And so they find some jewelry and some shit. So I'm like, oh my God. So they going back and forth. So I'm like, can y'all take me with y'all? Because where y'all leaving? Because y'all got the upper hand in this situation. I'm not taking this seriously at all. I'm in shock. Long story short, when all of that was said and done, they robbed them empty, took everything that they had. And I was just sitting there looking stupid. He sure had to buy me a new phone, and I stopped spending the night at people's houses.
Girls, I did a thing, and I'm really proud of myself. Now, to the man I'm talking about, if you see this video, I'm sorry. But I just had to talk about it because the girls need to know that this is the new way. And if there are girls who have already been doing this, good for you. Amazing. A couple weeks ago, this guy that I've not been seeing, but we hang out, whatever. He goes, yeah, you want to go see this movie or whatever? And I'm like, yeah, okay, cool. Let's go on. He says, let's go on Saturday. And I'm like, okay, let's go on Saturday. Now, Saturday comes around. He texts me in the morning, good morning, sunshine, yappa, 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 cool, cool, cool. But then I don't hear from him again because I'm at a photo shoot. And then after my photo shoot, I respond and I'm like, hey, what's up? Don't hear from him. Don't hear from him at 1 p.m. Don't hear from him at 3 p.m. Don't hear from him at 5. Don't hear from him at 6. Even though, like, after 2 p.m. is too late already. Like, you should have been like, okay, let's meet at this movie theater at this time, whatever. Nothing. So I'm pissed because I'm already like, sir, who do you think you are? Like, you're not that special. You know what I mean? So I go to the movies anyway. I go to the fucking movie by myself. I don't give a fuck. Okay? This guy messages me the next day and he's like, hey, how are you feeling? I'm like, are you dumb? I literally said, are you dumb? He goes, what are you talking about? I'm like, were we not supposed to go to the movies yesterday? And he goes, oh my God, I just thought I said something about this weekend loosely. I'm like, you're stupid. I didn't even want to talk to him anymore, but I did anyway. And then he goes, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, don't be mad. I said, send me 200 euros right now or be blocked. When I tell you, the money was on my account stat. It was on my account stat. He sent me the fucking money. And the next day we called each other and he was like, you scared the living shit out of me because I know you would fucking do it and you would never speak to me again. And I said, absolutely. Because are you dumb? So anyway, definitely use that. Be compensated for your wasted time.
So you contract an incurable disease and now you mad at your wife because she protected herself from you? Welcome to another episode of The Fuckery Found on Facebook. Let's just all imagine that we're in a Facebook group together. And in that group, there is a post that reads, I feel sabotaged. I don't know how to explain it without sounding weird. Well, friend, weird or not, go on tell me what happened so I can go tell my nosy ass friends over on TikTok. Now he goes on to share with us some very personal information, letting us know that he was just recently diagnosed with HIV. And I'm sure you wondering like, well, Angie, no, this ain't funny. And if we having this serious moment, then how is this a fuckery found on Facebook story? Give me a moment. You'll find out real soon. So homeboy goes on to tell us that he was out here cheating, got caught up. His side chick told him that she tested positive and he should be tested too. To which he tested positive and was advised that he needed to tell his wife. So not only is you out here sneaking and geeking, you done messed around and caught something you can't get rid of. And now you got to deal with the wrath of your wife. After he reveals that he is now HIV to his wife, she says, oh, well, since we telling secrets, I've been on PrEP this whole time. Whether she knew something was going on or not, sis moved straight into survival mode and said, I'm gonna always protect me. Tell me why this man is upset that his wife has been on PrEP and he didn't know about it. Sir, you out here cheating, running in chicks raw dog, risking your marriage, your health, and your wife's health. And somehow you feel sabotaged? Wife wasn't trying to sabotage you. She knew that something was going on. And instead of crashing out, she chose to save her own life. Let's talk about how she hid the pills and told him it was for blood pressure. I mean, technically she wasn't lying, because cheating husbands absolutely raise your damn blood pressure. And let's be real, the most heartbreaking part about this is not you contracting HIV. It's the fact that your wife went into this marriage already knowing she couldn't trust you. Imagine being so certain that your husband is unfaithful that you quietly go put yourself on PrEP. Baby, that is not a marriage. That's called a risk management plan. And now he in the group asking us, how do he move on from this? Disrespectfully, you need to start taking accountability. Your wife didn't give you HIV. Your choices did. And ladies, let me be crystal clear with you all. Protecting yourself is not disloyal. Getting tested regularly, it's not disrespectful. And knowing your status is not shameful. Too many women trust people blindly and end up paying for someone else's mistakes with their own health. Somebody's behavior makes you feel as if you need to protect yourself. Believe that feeling, because sometimes your intuition catches betrayal before their confessions ever come to light. I've said it before and I'm gonna say it again. Ladies, get on prep. It could literally mean the difference between their dumbass decision and your life.
You and your best friend had planned this vacation some months ago for you, her, and y'all man. But a couple of weeks ago, her and her man broke up. And at first, y'all was just gonna 86 the vacation. Y'all decided y'all didn't need no men to go with y'all. Y'all was just gonna turn it into a best friend vacation. Now, my sister breakup, she been acting real funny. She been in a depressed mood. And you know how that could be. Her and her man was together for 3 years, so you wasn't really tripping on it. You did reach out to her the day before the vacation and was like, look, are you sure you want to go? Because I'm not trying to go on this vacation and then you being a Debbie Downer the whole time. She apologized. She's like, you know how that could be, whatever. And you don't even know why they broke up, because every time you bring it up, she don't want to talk about it. You respect her wishes. You figure when she want to talk about it, she gonna tell you. So moving right along. So the morning time come, you pick her up. She quiet the whole way to the airport. When y'all get to the airport, on a plane ride, and when y'all touch down. So when she go to get some ice, you call your mama and you're like, I don't know what to do. Your mama say just respect her wishes and just give her some time. You've already stated that you're there for her. Maybe this vacation is what she need for a reset. So you're like, yep, you right, okay, cool. She comes back and y'all start getting ready because y'all have dinner reservation. Y'all get to the restaurant and you like, it's like pulling teeth for you to try to get her to have a conversation with you. You don't even remember what you said, but she just burst out crying. She asked you for the hotel room key and said she go into the room and run out. At first you was gonna run behind her, but you love a good beginning of the back, so you was like, I'm about to eat my steak. Now because you got worried, you did reach out to her ex and you were like, hey, what's going on? Why y'all broke up? Like, I've never seen her act like this before. He was like, that's something that she's gonna have to discuss with you. So you was like, can you give me a hint? Like, y'all acting like it's that bad. He was like, again, that's something that she gonna have to discuss with you. So you was like, all right, hang up on you, not in the mood. So you finish up your food, you pay, and when you go to leave, you realize that she had left her phone and purse on the table. So you wanted to go through it, but you was like, I'm gonna respect her privacy. You gathered and start walking to your room. But then she get a text message. It says mommy with a heart, and the text message say I love you. But you confused because her mama dead. So you unlock the phone. You go to the text thread and you scrolling. And it's a whole lot of information. Text messages read, I'ma tell her, I'm still mad you made me unalive my baby. I wish me and my man would have never started doing this with y'all. But yeah, I love you and I still want to be with you. You click on the contact information and you read the number. It's your mama number. So you take them hills off, start running towards the room Shakara Richardson style. But that's when you remember she had left her key, so you gave her your key. You gotta go to the front desk to get a key. The front desk tell you that room, the balance has been paid off and it has been checked out of. So is you trying to figure out?
Y'all, I witnessed probably the craziest fucking thing I've seen in my life last night. So, for those of you who don't know, I say it in like all my story times. I live in Seoul, South Korea. And last night I went out with my friends to Itaewon. And we were in this bar. And we just kind of like walked down the stairs, leaving the bar, whatever. And we hear this like wailing. And we're like looking around like, what is it? And it's this man on the floor, on all fours, literally like, ah! And we're like, oh my God, like what's wrong? Is he okay? What's going on? And then he's like, fuck you. And we're like, oh my God, like who hurt this man? What's going on? And then he kind of just like flops down. He's like laying there slumped face down on the floor. And we're like, is this guy okay? So we kind of like start asking other people. Now, me personally, I'm from America, so I'm pretty good at minding my business. Like, I'm kind of like, maybe we shouldn't get involved in that. Like, clearly something's not right with him. I think he's tweaking out, probably, because that's what it seemed like. So we start asking around, and come to find out, he is tweaking out on crack. And he got in an argument with this other guy, and then he started getting physical, and so the other guy kind of like pushed him and was like, fuck off. So then he like had like a mental breakdown on the floor. And this dude is like jacked. He's big, right? He's probably like 6'2", white guy, bald. I think he must have been like military. I don't know. I think he was military. Anyway, he's sitting there on the ground. And my friends were like, should we go ask him if he's okay? I'm like, no, he's tweaking on crack. Why would you ask him if he's okay? There's no reasoning with that. Like, it's not going to be like you rescuing him. Like, you don't know what this guy could do. So my Korean friend's like, oh, well, the police will be here in 10 minutes. I guarantee it. And they show up in 10 minutes. They get there. And so they go up to the guy and they're like,
you know, sir, are you okay? Are you okay? Now, when they get here, I'm like, let me take a step back because this might get dicey, okay? This might get really dicey. I don't know how the police work here, but I know how they work in America, and I'm not trying to be a part of that, so let me back up. But they go up to the guy, and they're like, are you okay? Are you okay? And this man fucking, like, revives with the strength of 1,000 Incredible Hulks. I mean, seriously, he was slumped on the ground, face down, not making a noise, not moving, nothing. And all of a sudden, and we were like, oh shit, it's about to go down. Like, it's really about to go down. He gets up. He's like, fuck you, like, to the police. The police are like, whoa, whoa. He's like trying to fight the police. He's trying to like kick the police. It was a male cop and a woman cop. The woman cop pulls out her tactical whip. She's like ready to fucking get this guy. And mind you, these police officers, they're not big, okay? They're like small people. And this dude is giant. So I'm like, holy shit, what's about to happen? I kind of get scared. I'm like, am I going to witness like a violent crime? I don't want to see this. So he's like, fuck you, blah, 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 to the police. Now, the altercation starts moving in my direction. And I'm like, oh, hell no. So I kind of run around the corner to this hill, like halfway down the hill. And I'm like looking up the hill like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? And this guy's like, where's my fellow Americans at? Fuck North Korea. You commies can't take me down to North Korea. Where's my... He was like trying to incite like a riot with a fellow Americans. I'm like this. Bitch, I'm not American. I'm not American. No, I'm not. I don't know you. I've never been there. I don't know anything about America. No, ma'am. Because it was fucking embarrassing. So, the guy starts... He's like he's trying to make an escape from the police. So he comes around the corner, down the fucking hill where I'm standing, right? There's this poor lady walking down the street. Doo-doo-doo. He fucking shoves her ass out of the way. And the male cop was not having that for a singular second, bitch. And so, yeah, he's running. The male cop's coming behind him. I'm like, oh, he's about to, like, you know, just catch up to him, right? Oh, no. He didn't just catch up to him. This male cop does the most insane shit I've ever seen in my fucking life, y'all. He literally is running down this hill. Mind you, this is right in front of me. He's running down the hill towards me. This fucking male cop runs, jumps, puts his hands up like this. He yells something. I don't know what he yells. It was something in Korean. Like, I don't know, but it was like, yeah! He's fucking running. He jumps. He leaves the ground and executes the most perfectly fucking impeccable blind kick I've ever seen in my life, y'all. Literally like this. Wah! And fucking kicks the bald guy in his fucking back, bro. And the bald guy, of course, goes fucking flying. I've never seen some shit like this, y'all. I've never seen it. It was like a movie. The way that this man perfectly fucking did this flying kick was insane. He kicks the guy in the back. The guy goes fucking flying. He gets launches forward. He barrel rolls about 43 times and then bangs into the corner of this building. And I'm like, oh, he's fucking dead. I know he's dead. There's no way he survived that shit. But he wasn't dead. He looks up. He's like... And before he could do anything, the male cop and the woman cop cuffed his ass. The police officer, or the other police officers in the car pull up. They fucking throw his ass in the fucking cop car. And everyone's like, yeah! Because it was like the craziest shit you've ever seen in your life. It was crazy. And I know that male cop, he probably felt like the most cool ass man on a fucking earth. Like, seriously, because we were all like, holy shit. I know he was like, yeah. Like, it was fucking crazy, y'all. It was crazy. I so wish I could have filmed it, but I couldn't pull my phone out because I was scared that the guy was going to fucking charge at me or some shit, so I had to be ready. But holy fuck.
When I was 16, my dad took me to the doctor's office because I had mono, and while I was there, I was like, hey, I'm actually due for a flu shot. So if you guys want to do that now, then I just don't have to come back. Like, let's get it all done. They're like, we can't give you a shot because you're actively dying with mono. Like, I was so sick. I couldn't stay awake for longer than like 10 minutes. I was literally just falling asleep all the time. It was terrible. But they're like, you're so sick. We can't give you a flu shot. It's not good. Like, your immune system's super weak right now. Cool. So another nurse comes in a little bit later with a vaccination. And I look at my dad very confused because I'm like, did they not just tell me I couldn't get this? Like, why are they going to give me a vaccine? He's like, it's fine. Like, get the shot. We won't have to come back. This is perfect. So I get the shot and I'm like, something just doesn't seem right. We leave the office, or like we leave the room in the office, and on everyone else's doors there's like whiteboards that say like vaccinations they're getting, like what they're being treated for, everything. My whiteboard is blank. And I'm like, that's really odd that I would get a vaccination, but it wasn't on my door. So then we get the discharge paperwork, and it's also not on the paperwork. So I'm just feeling really off about this, but I'm also so sick and just like, whatever. But I get home and I'm talking to my mom and I'm like, hey, by the way, I was given a vaccination today. She's like, what do you mean? You're really sick. What vaccination were you given? And I'm like, I think I was given a flu shot. And she's like, who would give you a flu shot while you have mono? Like, you're so sick. That's so odd. I'm like, I agree. So she calls the doctor's office. She gives all my information and she's like, what vaccination did my daughter receive today? They're like, she didn't get a vaccine today. There's nothing on here. She didn't get a shot. And my mom's like, that's crazy because I'm looking at her arm right now and I can see where she got a shot. And I think that's a really weird thing that my daughter would lie about. So you're gonna have to try harder and tell me what she was given. And they're like, we actually have to call you back. They call back, it's the doctor, and my mom is yelling at this man at this point because they're like, she didn't get anything, there's nothing here, like she did not get a shot. And my mom's like, no, but she did, because I'm looking at where you gave her a shot. And my mom basically says, listen, we're not gonna sue you, like we're not looking for a case, we just need to know what you gave my daughter and whether we're going to the hospital right now. And they're like, okay, so real talk, we think that we gave her the second strain of the meningitis shot. It was meant for someone else. And my mom's like, oh, that's great, that's crazy, because she's never had the first strain of the meningitis vaccinations. And they're like, okay, word, we do see that she hasn't, so we think it's fine, we think everything's great. She's gonna come back in a month when she feels better, and she's gonna get some blood work done, and then from that blood work we'll be able to tell what it was, and we think it was that. And then if it was that, we're gonna give her the first strain and then the second strain again. My mom's like, okay. So that's what we do. I go back, I get the blood work done. They're like, yep, that's what it was. I don't even think they knew. Like, they're like, this is our best guess. So I get the first strain, I get the second strain. Fast forward, I'm now in college and they need, guess what, my vaccination records. So I send them all over and they're like, hey babe, you're actually missing your meningitis vaccinations. I'm like, that's crazy, because not only have I had both of them, I also had just a special third one. So I've had more than I needed. They're like, we don't have that. So I go back to this doctor's office and I'm like, hey, where's my records? They're like, we don't have a record of you ever getting that. They're like, so we're gonna give it to you again. So I get the first strain and the second strain again. So now I've had 5 meningitis vaccines. Okay, thinking finally everything's great. I moved to Chicago. I am going to law school. They're like, we need your vaccination records. And I'm like, perfect. Everything should be there. And I send it over and they're like, you're missing your meningitis vaccinations. I go to my PCP and I'm just like, I'm telling her all of this. I'm like, this is insane. I'm like, listen, I know that I need another, like, whatever, give me a 6th and 7th meningitis shot. If that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. Like, I don't know what else to do here. She's like, I believe you. Like, you obviously have every other vaccination. Like, that's so weird. I'm gonna put it on here that you have it. I'm gonna write a little note. So we send it over. I go to law school. Everything's fine. And it's finally on my record. But that being said, the people who are super concerned about vaccinations and think that it causes all these problems, I've had 5 meningitis shots. I've had literally more than anyone else I've ever met. And I'm fine. So do with that info what you will.
When people say it is very hard as a grown woman to find female friends, this is what they mean. I was at the gym yesterday, and it is the gym at my apartment complex. And when we moved into this apartment complex, I kind of was like, I wonder if I'm gonna find any friends, because there seems to be a lot of people around my age. I'm seeing a lot of women. It's a pretty big complex, and there's one gym, and I'm like, you never know. So this was my second day going to my apartment's gym, and I was just about done. I was on the treadmill, and these 2 women walk in that are maybe like a year older than me, whatever, they're friends, and initially they see me through the window and I just see the look on their face and they just immediately just like look annoyed that they didn't have the gym to themselves. Which that's fine because sometimes I'm like that too, where I'm like, I just want to be alone. I don't want anyone to be here. But they get on the 2 treadmills beside the one that I am on, and I'm not bothering them doing anything. I have my headphones in. I'm just walking, running, whatever. I get done with my workout and I go to pick up all my stuff. I pick up my AirPods case and I drop it. Of course, my AirPods case just slides right underneath the treadmill that one of the girls is on. And I was like, great. So she doesn't notice and she doesn't have on any headphones. And I go, hey, I'm so sorry. My AirPods case slid underneath your treadmill. And she just looked me up and down and went, okay. So I just kind of like stood there for a second. I was like, so I'm going to reach underneath the treadmill that you're using, which I wasn't asking her to like stop working out or anything like that. You could just like reach underneath it. I'm not going to get hurt or anything. But I just wanted to tell her. And I said that to her. I said, I just wanted to tell you so you didn't get creeped out by this lady reaching underneath your treadmill. I'm just grabbing my AirPods case real quick. And she went. So it wasn't that big of a deal, but it was just the whole thing. And you would think that was the nice thing to do, to let her know, because wouldn't it be kind of scary if you were on a treadmill and some random person was on the floor reaching their hand underneath the equipment that you were using? I feel like you'd be just a little bit scared. So I just was like, hey, so sorry, I dropped my AirPods case underneath. I'm just going to grab it real quick. The conversation was a good 10 seconds. I wasn't like, hey, how are you guys doing? What's your name? Like, nothing like that. I was trying to just be as quick as possible because I also wanted to, like, leave and go home. So when women say it is hard to find friends, that's what they mean. Because women are mean. Just mean for no reason. That is about 90% of the interactions that I have with women my age. And I don't understand it. If someone had said that to me, I'd be like, oh, okay, no problem, whatever. I wouldn't look someone up and down and be like, okay, and scoff at them because they let me know what they were about to do before being weird. This is a very vulnerable thing for me to post. I actually was telling my husband on the phone about what happened like hours later and just started crying and I didn't realize like how bad it affected me, but it was so jarring and random. It is something that I'm genuinely insecure about, of like, I don't really have any friends. I have my son and I have my husband, and my husband is my absolute best friend. But, you know, as a woman, seeing all these people that are just like girlhood and all these like girl brunches and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, I want that. And I want that more than like once every 8 months. And yes, in general, like it is very hard to find friends as an adult. And especially it is very hard to find friends as a woman because of how many women are just mean. And I am not claiming to be someone that is the nicest person in the universe. I promise you that I have my moments that I could be the biggest bitch ever. But I will say right off the bat, especially to strangers and people that I don't know, I'm very kind. I'm a very open person. I am never just like mean or rude off the bat unless you are actually coming at me or my family. So just a PSA, please stop being mean. Just stop.
So I'm currently dealing with a very weird, unexpected side effect of my husband having an affair with my brother's wife. For context, if you're new here, my husband had an affair with my brother's wife. He left me to be with her. They currently live together. It's a whole thing. Very dramatic. My husband also stole over $5,000 from me and then called to have my power and my gas shut off when I told the internet that he had an affair and stole $5,000 from me. So you're caught up now. And I want to know from other women who have been cheated on if you have dealt with this, because I find what's happening right now to be wildly unhinged. And so I just need to know if this is common or if this is a unique group of shitty people that I'm dealing with. I don't know. Also, real quick before we jump into it, because I'm sick of people thinking I made this up, this is my husband and my brother's wife. They are dating. I am still married to my husband and my brother is still married to his wife and they are dating. Okay, so basically what's happening is me and my husband did have a group of mutual friends that we played Dungeons and Dragons with. And I thought these people were like my friends, like that they cared about me. We were in a campaign for like 8 years together that I only recently pulled out of because of my husband having an affair, so I couldn't play with him anymore. So these were people that I'm like, okay, they care about me as a person. I've spent weekends with them. We've had so many game days and all this stuff. Like these people are my people. Like they're nice, they're good people. I like them. So I at least kind of assumed that when all of this happened that they'd at least check on me. They'd be like, whoa, are you okay? I can't believe this happened. Like,
I assume, I don't expect people to immediately jump to a side and be like, oh, what he did was awful, like, we hate him now, or whatever, but, like, they do know what happened. They are aware that he had an affair and that he's currently with her. They are aware that he stole that money. I don't know if they were aware about the gas and the power, because I'm sure he's not running around telling people about the horrible shit he's doing, but, like, they were aware at least that he stole this money and that he had an affair. And they were just keeping their distance from me, and they were still hanging out with him. And I found that to be odd. So this is where I need to know if this is a common thing. Because I found out today, through asking some questions, that the reason that this friend group is standing by him and icing me out, like anytime I try to contact them, they don't respond, all this stuff, is because I talked about this on the internet. So essentially the thought process there is, we can excuse an affair. We can excuse stealing over $5,000. We can excuse shutting off your power. We can excuse all of that. We can excuse that. But you going on to TikTok and telling people that he did that stuff, you're sick in the head. You're gross, you're mean, and you need to fix your behavior. His behavior, completely acceptable. We're good with that. He's a great guy. He's actually a great guy. We don't care that he had an affair. We don't care that he stole money. We don't care any of that. We do care that you're telling people that he did that stuff, though, because it makes him look bad, and that's not okay, Caitlin. So that's why none of us are your friend anymore. So, like, is this common? I know it is common for when a woman reacts to something that happens to her, that we will get in trouble for our reaction and people will kind of skip over the thing that happened. Right? It'll be like, you hit me with your car. And it's like, I can't believe she's yelling at you. What a loud woman who yells. It's like, well, he hit me with his car. So, that happens a lot. I do understand that that's kind of like a common thing. But, like, is it common with affairs that people will just side with the person who had the affair because the person who was cheated on is upset, and they find that them being upset is like a turnoff? Because essentially that's what it is. They're mad that I'm angry. They're mad that I seem like hateful towards him. Surprise. Yeah, I hate him. He cheated on me with my brother's wife, a woman who I'm going to not say stuff. So yeah, I'm mad. I'm not allowed to be mad. That's why people are not my friend anymore, is because I got mad that my husband had an affair and then I told people he had an affair. And that makes me the bad guy. Is this a thing that happens? If it is, we need to start a club, because the gaslighting happening right now to tell me that I'm the bad guy because I told, well, you're a tattletale. So actually, are we 3? Can we not hold a man accountable for not being able to keep his dick in his pants, please? Can we keep a man accountable for not trying to make his wife homeless? Can we not hold a man accountable for trying to turn off the power at her apartment because he's mad that people found out he had an affair? Can we not hold that guy accountable? Why are y'all cool with that and not cool with me? That's crazy. I'm going to be honest. Crazy. Crazy work. The mental gymnastics to think you're on the right side of this fight is wild. And I will be completely honest. I truly think it's because they are cowards and they want to keep playing D&D. And when we first split up, it was more amicable because I didn't know about the affair. And so I just bowed out of the D&D campaign and he stayed in it. And I think they're kind of at this point like, well, if he leaves the D&D campaign, the whole thing's going to, like, there's so many people have dropped out, we won't be able to finish it. And so instead of being a decent person, they're just wiping his horrible behavior under the rug so they can keep playing D&D and having board game nights. Y'all, I love a board game night too, but like, come on, have like an ounce of moral backbone. Anyway, I just need to know if this is common. And I'm not throwing their names out here. I'm not throwing these people under the bus. They don't matter that much. They're just old D&D friends that I think are being shitty right now, and I needed to like vent about it. I'm not out here trying to slander these people. Like, I think they're good people. I think they're just being incredibly stupid, and like they're probably also being manipulated by Ellen, who is a narcissist and a therapist. And so she thinks she's a relationship therapist, by the way. Isn't that a funny irony that the woman having an affair with her husband's sister's husband. She's a relationship therapist. That's weird. Don't you think that's weird? Anyway, she's a very manipulative person. She's very good at playing the victim and making people think she is like, I don't know. I've lived it. I used to think the same thing, and now coming out the other side, I'm very aware of how manipulative a person she is. So I get that they're being manipulated by her. I get that they want the easier path. I live in LA and George is there, so it's easy for them to just write me off and support him. I get that it's easy, but it's cowardly and it's shitty. And if this is how friend groups react commonly to this shit, genuinely, we need a support group. I'll start it. Let's start meeting.
My whole thing is, there's a reason why you need a witness. I'm not gonna sign your waist if I did not see it. What? Story time real quick. So I'm at work and this nurse is in the med room and she asks for a witness. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I got you. I'm gonna come witness it for you. I come in the med room. She already has everything pulled up on the Pixis for me to sign. And I'm like, what am I witnessing? And she's like, this tablet, I'm wasting half. So I said, where's the other half? She said, I already threw it away. So I'm like, how am I supposed to sign the witness if I didn't see you break the tablet and throw the other half away? And she's like, girl, I threw it away already. Like, just sign it. Like, I put it in here. This is the half that I'm going to give. And I put the other half away. So I'm like, oh, no, girl, I'm not signing it. Like, no shade. Like, you acting like I'm not acting like nothing. I'm not accusing you of anything. I'm not saying I think you did anything with the other half of the tablet. But all I know is I didn't witness you break that tablet and dispose the other half. Therefore, I am not signing anything. No shade. No shade. So I said, you're going to have to get the charge nurse. And she really looked at me, had an attitude, and walked away. Don't know what happened after that. Did not care. Did not follow up. Like, how are you mad that I don't want to sign my name on a waist that I did not see? Hello? And I don't even play them kind of games. I don't care. I don't care how trustworthy you seem, whatever the case may be. If it's saying it needs 2 nurse verification, 2 nurse sign, witness, whatever, yeah, I need to see the interaction. I need to see the procedure. I need to see it get done. Sorry. She don't talk to me no more, but that's okay. I don't work there anymore, but don't sign nothing you ain't see, y'all.
Story time about why I decided to leave my ex-husband. Keep in mind, before I left him, I was having all of these really gut-wrenching feelings in our apartment. I had left town for about a week and a half because I had gotten my gallbladder removed. And we were fighting and he told me that he couldn't take care of me and all this stuff. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be with family to process everything and decide what I want to do with my life. And I literally couldn't sit up out of bed on my own, and he said that he was not going to be there to help me. So I was like, okay, I need to go get some help because, come on. So the whole time that I was home with family and had left and everything, he completely ignored me. I could not get a hold of him. No matter how many times I tried to call him, text him, no response. So I was spiraling because I was like, okay, at this point I hadn't asked for a divorce. I hadn't officially left. I just had left because I just got my gallbladder removed. And I was spiraling. I was like, I can't even get a hold of my husband. This is not okay. This is not healthy. And I start spiraling because I'm having all these gut feelings that he's bringing a girl to our apartment. He's cheating on me. What is happening? I finally got a hold of him one night and he answered my FaceTime call. It was probably a 5-minute phone call. And he probably said 2 words the entire time. He just stared at me. There was nothing in his eyes. He just was looking right through me, would not say a word. And I was like, can you just talk to me? Can you communicate with me so that we can figure out what's going on? Why are you so upset? Why, what is happening? He was really upset that I went home to be with family because he's like, well, I should be taking care of you. And I said, well, I don't understand because you just told me you couldn't take care of me. So I decided to go home. I was like, dude, what do you want from me here? When I finally realized that he was not going to talk to me, was not going to communicate with me, I just said, okay, I love you. And he just stared at me. Guys, I kid you not, he just stared at me. I'm not even exaggerating. And so I said it again. I was like, I love you. And he just stared at me. And I was like, why can't you say I love you? And he ended up just hanging up the phone. He never said I love you. So I texted him and I was like, why can't you say I love you to me anymore? Why is that so hard for you? And he said, I'm trying to love you, but it's just so hard. When I tell you my heart shattered into a million pieces, no woman wants to hear that, especially from their husband. And so at that point, I just basically cried myself to sleep. Because I'm like, okay, can't get my husband to talk to me whatsoever, so we can't work through this, we can't communicate. He just said that it's hard to love me. Like, what the hell am I supposed to do? I had just gotten my gallbladder removed. My health was at the worst place possible. I literally, at this point, through all of the abuse within the relationship and stuff, I had just literally lost myself, felt like a literal shell of myself, and I just was so lost. But at this point, I still didn't know if I was gonna get divorced. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I honestly think that he wanted an out, but he didn't know how to do it, which he did tell me that one time before. He said that if we ever get divorced, you're gonna have to be the one who leaves me because I don't have the guts to do it myself. Excuse me, sir? Who the hell says that? What? And when he said that, it's not even like we were talking about divorce. He just randomly was like, yeah, if we ever get divorced, you're gonna have to be the one who leaves me because I'm not gonna have the guts to do it to myself. Sir. So I truly believe at this point he was just trying to make my life so incredibly miserable so that I would leave. There was one night that I literally felt like I was just like praying to God and just kind of like wrestling with God, like, tell me what to do, like I don't know what to do. And I remember just feeling a ton of peace. But just feeling like I needed to stay home with family a little bit longer. And I knew that if I told him that, he was going to be super upset because he was already pissed that I was even home with family. Like, he was so upset about it, which I think was the main reason why he decided to give me the silent treatment and not talk to me. But like, come on, grow up. I told him the next day that I was staying longer. No response. Like, he was upset at this point. I was just like, whatever. Then the next day I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go home because, you know, I just felt like I need to go work on our relationship. Like, I need to figure this out, figure out what I'm gonna do. So I go back to where we were living. Keep in mind, the whole time that I was home with family, I hadn't had like a panic attack at all. I go back and get in the car with him, and immediately my body starts freaking out. Like, I feel like my throat is closing. I start like full on just panicking, like panic mode. When I got in the car, he was not even happy to see me, which no one knew that he was like this behind closed doors, because as soon as we would get around people, he'd put on this face and be his bubbly, happy self. But then as soon as we were behind closed doors and in private, like, he would just shut down and just like be so pissed at me and couldn't get a response out of him. And so it's like no one knew this was happening, but it was so manipulative. So at this point, I'm back in his presence. I'm having a full-blown panic attack. Like, my body's literally responding. My body was quite literally rejecting him. I remember after that panic attack, I was like, I just had this feeling like that's my answer. I can't do this anymore. And I just remember being like, no human should have to live like this, in this much stress and misery, and like not even feeling safe around your partner. And I remember walking back into our apartment. Keep in mind, I had been gone, like I said, for like a week and a half at this point. And I go back into our apartment and I just felt sick. Like, I felt like I was gonna vomit in there. I did not want to stay the night there. I felt physically ill. And I just had this gut feeling that someone else had been there when I was gone. And you guys, like, I can't even describe the feeling. I just felt so ill. My mom was there and I told her, I was like, I think I need to get a divorce. I'm just like sobbing. And she was like, because she didn't know anything that was happening behind the scenes. My mom and my ex-husband did not get along, though. They did not like each other. That was very clear. But my mom was in shock and she's like, okay, let's call your dad. So I call my dad sobbing, tell him what's going on. And he basically said, like, we'll support you in whatever you choose to do. But he said, and this will always stick with me, he's like, the Lord does not expect you to be miserable. Which gave me peace too, and just knowing like, this is not how marriage should be. This is not from God. If it was, then it would not be abusive, manipulative. It would not be causing me this much stress and chaos in my life. So at that point, that was kind of the boost and the reassurance that I needed from my family. They weren't saying, yes, get a divorce, but they basically just said, we'll support you in whatever you decide to do. I stayed in a hotel that night with my mom because I could not step foot in our apartment. It made me ill. And then the next morning, I packed up my stuff and I left. Let me know if you guys want a part 2, because there's so many details that I can't even include.
So I remember when I was younger, my mama had a falling out with one of her friends, right? And they wasn't talking. And I remember one day when she was at work, my auntie had called, and she called like 4 or 5 times, and my mom had this policy in her house, like, well, this rule in her house, especially when she was gone, like, don't answer her phone or her door, especially with the phone, especially if it's only for her, or you feel what I'm saying, like, she didn't play that shit. So I'm like, yeah, she already gone, this, that, and third, and she like, well, I'm about to head out on this retreat, and I'm not gonna be able to have my phone, because she was like real big in the church or whatever, so she like, tell your mom that, so-and-so passed away, and I'm, oh yeah, like, okay, cool, like, my mom's gonna love to hear this, and I just hung up. So like, my TT called back, and she was like, what you mean? I was like, TT, I gotta go do my chores. I'm really not supposed to be on the phone, but I'm gonna tell her, okay? And so I'm just thinking like, oh my God, my mom gonna be so happy. Like, I'm gonna have some good news for her when she get off, right? So like, as soon as my mom come in, I couldn't wait. I said, Ma, guess who died? Like, with the biggest fucking smile. She looked at me and said, girl, what? Why the fuck are you smiling? Like, that's not funny. Like, I was like, no, Ma, for real, like, just guess. And then immediately after, she like, who? My sister, my mama, my cousin. I'm like, cold. She look playing hot and motherfucking cold on somebody's life is crazy. Like, and what made it more fucked up was, she was like, Trinity, just tell me who. I'm like, no, guess. Like, I'm really trying to make her guess. It's like, Trinity, I got time for these motherfucking games. She's like, let me call my motherfucking mama, because she was like, I'm about to whoop your motherfucking ass and go tell me. It's like, okay, jeez, like, and so I said, your homegirl so-and-so. And she was just like, Trinity, stop fucking playing. I said, did y'all make up? Or, like, I was like, in my mind, bitch, if we got beef to the afterlife. Like, what the fuck you sad for? But I knew at that moment, I was set to be a vengeful person for life, because, like, I was dead ass so confused why the fuck my mama was mad and whooped my ass. Bitch, I thought we were the same thing. Like, you my girl. I was just trying to figure out, like, I thought we was in with it. I thought we, like, you feel what I'm saying? If it's fuck you, it's fuck me too. Like, bitch, that's how I was rocking behind my mama at the time. Like, you couldn't tell me shit about it. You couldn't do shit, bitch. What's up? Like, but that shit was so motherfucking funny. She tagged my ass the fuck up. And she was like, Trinity, oh my fucking God. Like, she would have called my auntie and everything, and she confirmed it. And so she called me in the room, and she like, so you thought that shit was funny? She told my ass, I wish I was the motherfucking one who died the way she told my ass up. She damn near sent me with the bitch. But man, let me tell you, that shit right there was funny as
Story time on how I just found out that I was helping a man. I helped him pay his rent, and when he finally, like, I never went over there. Like, he would not ever invite me over there, and I just didn't think nothing of it, so I was trying to be a good person. He seemed like a really good person. And when I finally, like, was tired of it, like, why would I help you pay your rent? Like, I don't even know where you live. Like, I don't want you to be homeless. So, like, I was just doing the best that I could do. And when I finally went over there, y'all, I find out that he lived with his girlfriend. And she the one who been telling him to help, to, like, basically play me. They've been both playing me. Like, he been getting money from him and taking her on dates and shit. I'm just playing. I was cutting the onion. But could y'all imagine?
My boyfriend said that I don't have a bikini body, so I took my top off in front of all of his friends. So we were on the beach with his group of friends, and about 15 guys were there. That is why what he said was even more hurtful and embarrassing. When we got to the beach, I am that person that immediately has to go into the water, but I was the only one, so I went alone, and my boyfriend and all of his friends just stayed talking on the towels. So about like 15 minutes after, I get out of the water, and I'm walking towards where my boyfriend and his friends all are. I noticed that my boyfriend was like looking at me, staring at me whilst I was walking with a smirk on his face. I thought he was about to say something sweet, but no. As soon as I come closer to them, my boyfriend says very loudly and in front of everyone, you should wear a one piece because you don't really have a bikini body. If he was trying to be funny, like, it didn't work because everybody just was awkward. None of them laughed, obviously, because, like, why would you laugh at that? Nobody said a word, and for, like, 10 seconds, I just stared at my boyfriend in disbelief and thinking about what I was gonna do. There's no way that he's gonna embarrass me in front of all of his friends, and I'm not gonna humiliate him back. So I pulled off the top part of my bikini, and I stood there in front of all of his friends, and I said, well, now it's a one piece. He immediately got up screaming and stood in front of me to try and cover me up. He started screaming, saying, are you crazy? Put something on immediately. I then also very loudly said, I don't even know why you bother wearing shorts since it's so small, no one would even notice it. No one said a word too, and for the rest of the day, I just lay down tanning with my now one piece.
Honestly, one of my favorite pastimes is humbling men. Let me tell you what happened with this man. So I meet this guy in a dating app, right? And he said something corny, and I said, sir, try again. So immediately he comes back. He goes, dinner tonight at this place, this time, boom, boom, boom. I said, okay, here's my number. If you're serious, text me. Like, let's see the plan. So he texted me immediately. I said, okay, sir, period. Like, you know, we love assertive. But then things got weird because this man says to me, on some Aladdin shit, he's like, oh, with me, it's going to be magical. I'm going to do this. And I said, what does that mean? Sir, what are you talking about? You think you're Aladdin talking about, I can show you the world? I said, what does that mean? He's like, oh, I'm just saying. He was like, oh, I know the way I worded it was weird. I'm like Batman. I'm going to take you here and there. And then he writes out a bunch of fucking activities. Like he's picking out a list. Like he's got fucking ChatGPT saying like, tell me some fun date ideas. He's like, oh, go-karting, batting cages, doing this, doing that. He just lists out a bunch of shit that is just like regular shit that you do on a fucking Saturday. I said to him, I go, sir, do you think I've never been outside? Do you think I've never been outside? What are you talking about? He goes, LMAO, yeah, you right. I'm just saying, like, I'm gonna show you new things and blah, blah, blah. I said, you know what would be new? Let me tell you what would be new. I said, you know what would be new? A man with a Ferrari. A man with a private jet. A man with an island. That would be new. You think I never fucking went go-karting? What are you talking about? You think I never been bowling? What are you acting? You acting like you're doing some crazy excursions. Like I ain't never been anywhere. And I'm dead serious. I did send that. I literally said word for word. I said, you know what would be new? A man with an island. A man with a private jet. That would be new. He goes, LMAO, you're right, but you know what comes with that? No, sir, I don't give a fuck what you think you're going to teach me. No, you're getting left on red. 1 minute this man thinks he's Aladdin. The next minute he thinks he's a tour guide. He thinks he's Batman. Sir, you did way too much. And you're 5'7". Little boy, calm down.